What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Link will be in the description box below. But I'm gonna title this Child Custody Hypocrisy. 3-year-old daughter, 3-year-old daughter gets basically murdered by her mother and her mother's boyfriend. Judge, who I gotta give props, called them on a bull. But here's the problem I have. This happens all the time. And there's been the increasing amount of stories of mothers and their boyfriends abusing and killing kids seem to be popping up every week. Why I call it hypocrisy is this. These are the same mothers that these courts find fit to parent. You know, being a mother makes you a better parent automatically. When these women say they don't know who the father is, you just take them at their word. When these women abuse kids, because women like this have abused kids or got these kids abused by their boyfriends, and they've taken them to the hospital, and who winds up with the baby again? The same mother or the same mother and boyfriend. So it always is striking to me why, though you see these people in court and the judge going off, because you feel like they full of it, which they are probably, because it's happened so often. Just like, it's February right now. It's going to be at least 10, 20 stories in about 6 months of kids leaving their baby in a hot car to die. I mean, we all know it's coming, right? Every year. But nobody cares. And I'm speaking from experience as a parent also, and who went through the system itself. It's basically it's a setup. Like, you can be wrong. You have really little to no room for error as a father. But a mother has pretty much carte blanche. Like, yeah, she did that, but she's a mother. Yeah, she did that too. She's a mother. Yeah, she did that too, but she's a mother. Yeah, she did that too, but she's a mother. Yeah, the baby's probably retarded now, but she's a mother. Unfortunately, and why I call it hypocrisy is the same courts that are willing to come down on this mother and boyfriend are really the same courts who said, "Oh yeah, you're the one. You yeah, that's who that kid should be with." And a lot of times overlooking how fucked up these people are. Now, some people might say, where's the father in this equation? Because normally this does happen, and and people ask, where the father at? Where the dad at? And sometimes, let's be honest, the dad ain't around. Whether, if you want to take a worst case scenario, the dad ain't around because he's a deadbeat, or and that's the worst case scenario for him, or he doesn't even know he's the dad, so there's no reason for him to be around. A lot of times you got to look into that by checking the last name of these babies that keep winding up coming up dead. They got their mama last name. Daddy don't know. It ain't. No, some may know it's possible, but they ain't like, because once you have your mother's last name, that basically says, y'all need to do DNA at the minimum. Um, the other thing is sometimes, you know, the same courts that's coming down on this woman and her boyfriend are the same courts that are the same legal system that are making sure that these fathers are in these kids' lives. He's coming over to pick him up. Call the cops. He wanted to see him at the school. Call the cops. He called. Call the cops. I'm gonna get an order of protection because I feel like you gonna beat my ass and you abusive to my baby, so I need to put a restraining out on you so you can't come even see your kid. Now I ain't that guy, but I'm just saying. But this is the type of shit that happens. So the hypocrisy is the same system that's, because I'm seeing these stories pop up week after week after week after week. This is the problem. But the same courts keep ruling for these mothers week after week after week after week after week. And the problem is not, the problem is these kids are winding up dead weekly, younger and younger and younger. These stories are coming out like too much. We know single mothers fail. You know how we know? Because we got a generation, maybe even 2 generations of men and women figuring out how to be men and women as adults, because their single mother household mom never really cared to teach them how to be an adult. Couldn't teach the boys how to be a man. Didn't want them boys to be around their fathers or other men, unless they were their boyfriends who were abusive, like the one in this clip you might click on and watch. And the girls didn't teach them how to be ladies. Thus, they trying to figure out how to be women as adults. So they all messed up and everybody's all screwed up. But since everybody's on their grown and on their own, once again, you get the "I did the best I could" speech. And I mean, I'm one of the people that hated that speech. God even got that speech. I want to slap the shit out of my mother. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'd be like, "You never helped me with homework. Did the best I could." You always made sure you was unavailable. I did the best I could. You purposely didn't feed my ass. You did the best I could. When I needed you to get a ride to school, you purposely made my ass walk in the cold, rain, snow, blizzards, while you drove in the same fucking direction as I was going in. I did the best I could. You purposely spent all this damn child support money on yourself shopping every day, and I had no fucking clothes. But I did the best I could. I'm just using examples here. Some of them are my own, some of them are just made up. But that's a problem. Serious problem, because at the end of the day, what's going on now? I mean, is that judge absolutely right? Hell yeah. Is she taking no prisoners about she know how they just went down? Hell yeah. She ain't taking no prisoners. But the problem is, to her with her information and knowledge withstanding as being a judge, she got girlfriends like that she know other judges ruled in her favor for. She got family members like that. She got friends of friends and friends of family just like that chick. And the problem is, they probably would ask her cool advice on, well, how could they make sure they're going to keep custody? Well, girl, you got to do this. So, what I'm saying is, the setup is, you can't keep ruling these chicks' favor and then get mad at them in court. Because, you relegated these guys to being good parents or not unless they pay child support. So what are you going to tell this kid's father? If the father's in the life and the kid pay, oh, well, you paid your child support and you wanted your baby, but, we said she was the better person. And obviously she beat your kid to death and killed it with her boyfriend, but my bad. Maybe we should have looked into the case a little deeper. Maybe we should have saw those red flags. Maybe we shouldn't have, we should have ruled in your favor when you showed and proved that this motherfucker's crazy. But you know what? She's a mother. Maybe she can have another kid, and after she gets out of jail, and if she ever goes to jail, actually, because the boyfriend probably gonna go to jail for a longer period of time than the mother is, who's responsible for the fucking kid. Ain't that a bitch? this is very, very disheartening, just as a parent, because let me explain. That's a worse fear of a parent that their child winds up dead. And we talk about all this other stuff that goes on. Police. I talk about the police, vigilantes. Racist people. Sometimes even our own. But this is a big problem because I even know of stories where kids who were teenagers became criminals, and the courts realized the family was fucked up, and the family themselves band together to act like they didn't know that the father existed. Now the court should be able to find this guy because the guy's on child support. The guy has an address. He takes care of the kid, and I'm just using one example, so that's why I'm saying the guy and the kid. But there's more than one example of this. And you don't need to know about that. But what happens is this. Now the family band together. We don't know where he is. He doesn't exist. We've never met him. He's ran away. He's living in Sao Paulo, which is some bull. But as long as the case was won, that's all that mattered. So ultimately, I'm thrown off by the phone because I'm gonna have to make a call. But ultimately, I'm saying this is a bad thing because this keeps happening, but these mothers keep retaining custody. And these courts really can't say anything to these fathers because these courts had their hands in making sure that these mothers, crazy asses, made sure they had these kids and killed these kids. Some of them abused them to death. Some of them just abused them. Some of them abused them and got them back and killed them. This shit is ridiculous. Kudos to the judge for calling that bullshit, but at the same time, that judge knows exactly what's going on because that judge knows if she ever dealt in family court, because that's criminal court, that some of her co-workers or fellow judges be putting these kids in these situations. I'm out.